Donald Trump has been caught in another scandal, this time related to his campaign stops. He's had an issue with this previously, where he's been caught faking campaign stops with GOP operatives, trying to make it look like interactions with the public. And this is starting to become a pattern. Here's the full story. There was a new scandal today about the barbershop. It's like beyond embarrassing what happened with this barbershop. There was a business roundtable at a barbershop in Atlanta that Trump was centering on his campaign. He's got Byron Donalds here, and they're at the barbershop, and Trump calls in. He didn't even show up. He just called in to this barbershop. Now, 2 days earlier, the day of the debate, the Trump campaign released the barbershop footage to social media. And here was our initial coverage. So Trump did a thing at a barbershop today, boss. This is the saddest, most cringiest thing I've ever seen, man. No joke. So Trump is still on his campaign to try and win over some black voters. He's had some inroads with these rappers and these black guys that follow his rallies around. First off, just using the barbershop is so cliched, right? But watch this clip. Guys, this clip is heartbreaking because of how, first off, look at the black men. Dude, they don't look jazzed. But listen to Trump during this clip. The subject matter of what he's talking about. It's so racist. It is. It's so heartbreakingly racist. And he thinks this is making him look good. He thinks this is helping him win over the black vote.
Since this has happened,
first off, he didn't even show up. He didn't actually go. He's phoned himself in. He didn't make an appearance at the barbershop. He just called in.
But since this has happened, the mugshot is the best. It just beat Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra by a lot, by the way.
The mugshot just beat Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra by a lot. The mugshot. Bro. Dude, what is homie doing? The last time he had contact with Atlanta, he was in jail. He was in the clink. But the mugshot, bro.
But since this has happened, the mugshot is the best. It just beat Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra by a lot, by the way.
The mugshot.
But that's the number one mugshot of all time. It's really an amazing thing. Since it happened, the support among the black community and the Hispanic community has skyrocketed. It's been amazing. Really been amazing. It's been actually very nice to see.
Mr. President,
it's in one way you say, gee, isn't that too bad? But the truth is, it's really a lovely thing when I see that. We have great support now in the black community and in the Hispanic community.
Yes.
But
dude, he's talking about the mugshot as though it's this source of pride. And how all the blacks and Hispanics love him because he's got the number one mugshot. Bro, it's so sad, dude. It is bad, boss. Jesus. And I was just wondering, what these guys are going through being up there. That's his thing. When he talks about black voters, that's all he can talk about is his mugshot and how he's convinced that now that he's got a really popular mugshot, it's going to elevate him in some way. Dude, isn't that wild? That is wild. It's so brutal. These guys, I'm super curious. Why are these guys there? You know what I mean? I don't understand what's compelling them to be there. Now, you could see my initial reaction was wondering, how could those guys be there? What was going on? And as it turns out, the whole thing was a scam, which of course, now their expressions make perfect sense when you find out the real story. And here it is.
It's really a lovely thing when I see that. We have great support now in the black community and in the Hispanic community.
Yes.
But since
Okay, so he's got an Elvis mugshot and the support in the black community. That's about as racist and brain dead as a thing that I've ever seen. So cringeworthy. But you know what's funny? It was bullshit. So the guy who owned that barbershop didn't even know that that shit was going down. Somebody from the Trump campaign contacted a friend of the barbershop owner, only told him that it was a small business roundtable. So the barbershop owner was like, yeah, I'm always in support of small business, but they didn't even tell him it was a Trump campaign event. They finagled and lied their way into using that man's barbershop as the centerpiece of the Trump campaign, talking about how black voters and small business owners love him. And now the guy's upset because his clientele are mad at him. It's crazy.
The owner of Rocky's Barbershop in Atlanta says he feels he was misled by a campaign event for former President Trump the day before the debate. Rocky Jones tells our Kara Spelger he thought his Buckhead shop was just hosting a forum for black businesses, but he says he never expected to fade into the realm of politics.
To me, cutting hair is like an art.
And smooth waves are not the only thing Rocky Jones wants his shop to be known for.
We try to specialize in just giving good service to the community. As you can see, I've been here since 17 years, and it's been good.
Which is why he jumped at the chance to help other black business owners get ahead.
Started with a text, then it went to a call, because I was actually out the country. And just me agreeing to do a black small business, round table. I thought it was like something real private.
It was anything but. Rocky, along with black business owners from across metro Atlanta, crammed into his shop, along with Trump surrogates like Ben Carson. But it wasn't all shop talk.
Thinking about black business in Atlanta, small black businesses in Atlanta. And I'm like, okay, so when are we going to start talking about this?
He says a call from former President Trump during the event cut deep.
Why is the ex-president calling somebody in my barbershop? This has nothing to do with small black businesses.
And he was left with a lot more than razor burn.
We had some calls. Thursday, we definitely got some calls, some backlash, some
people are
angry
pissed.
People that don't know me, and I have to deal with that. I have no involvement in politics. We don't even talk politics in my barbershop. It's all sports. Commend everybody to vote, but that's your business. I don't tell you what to do.
The number of customers, he says, has trimmed down, but he hopes the shock will fade and he can keep helping his community. Kara Spelger, 11 Alive News.
Now, this is pretty wild because the dude who supposedly has all this support in the black community was willing to tank this guy's business just to use his barbershop as a convening place to try and sell, a political falsehood. Because the black community, they can't stand Trump. They hate him. Most of the black community does. Why? Because he's a racist. And he's been a racist his entire life. He talks about black jobs and all that kind of crazy shit. And he and his dad got fined multiple times for not renting to black people. He's had a long history, gnarly history of racism. But this whole thing was fake.
Black business owner says he feels betrayed and blindsided. The Trump campaign held an event at Rocky's Barbershop in Atlanta the day before the debate. But the owner says it's not what he thought he was signing up for. Atlanta News First Rachel Aragon live at 5 outside the Buckhead Barbershop with why the owner is now speaking
Let's go,
out.
baby. Dude, 25.
Yeah.
The business owner says he was never told this was going to be a political event, and now he's using his time and story to tell other businesses to watch out as election season heats up.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, DTL, I know, right? Like DTL saying he's wondering what barbershop in Atlanta signed up, right, for the Trump campaign to have their silly ass little round table.
For more than a decade,
I really take pride in my business.
Rocky Jones says he has welcomed everyone to his Atlanta barbershop, customers from all backgrounds and walks of life.
Mind my business, serve, give back haircuts to the community, and have good conversations. It's never been about politics.
His business, he says, has never been the site of a political event until Wednesday, when prominent Republicans packed inside the day before the highly anticipated presidential debate in Atlanta.
I hope I'm being well represented.
Former President Donald Trump even calling in at one point.
I feel like I've been betrayed.
Days before the debate, Jones says someone who he thought was a friend reached out to him about being the host site for a small black business roundtable. He says there was never any mention this was a political event. Jones adds he never heard from a Trump campaign representative.
Dude, yeah, DTLC and Ben Carson in a barbershop is hilarious. That's just what's funny about it is those guys like Ben Carson and Byron Donalds, they hang out in exclusively white spaces. The only time they go to black spaces is when they're campaigning for someone.
Any flags, this would be political.
I honestly didn't think about it. It was just, once you say black small business, give back to the community, it's like, okay, I'm doing it.
Jones says he
Dude,
feels
it's
used.
funny
Just be aware.
because I remember looking at it when we watched the thing and I was like, dude, this guy looks pissed, right? And there he is. It turns out he was pissed.
Once you say black small business, give back to
Dude.
the community, it's like, okay, I'm doing it.
Jones says he feels used.
Just be aware that it is election season and the timing seems a little suspect.
That's why he's warning other business owners to have a healthy dose of skepticism.
Even though I trusted that person, I didn't really do the research I should have done, but now I'm letting everybody else know that you need to be aware of these calls.
Atlanta News First did make contact with the Trump campaign. They acknowledged our request, but they were not able to get us a response by airtime.
Couldn't get a
Did
response.
tell me he was compensated for the 2 hours he had to close Wednesday for that event, but now he says he's willing to give that money back. Reporting in Atlanta, Rachel Aragon, Atlanta News First.
So yeah, that's really kind of chipping away at that myth that Donald Trump has been spreading about how popular he is with the black community, which has been part of this campaigning cycle. It's been a really big one. I mean, a lot of Trump's campaign right now has been trying to create these fake instances of he's so popular with the black vote. He's even winning over minorities now. Blacks and Hispanics are overwhelmingly for Trump. And they're trying to set up this sense of, you know, they're up by 10 percentage points. So when they lose in November, they can turn around and say that they've been cheated. And this was not the first time that Trump got caught faking a campaign stop. Donald Trump went to a ChickfilA in Atlanta. Again, they had this whole thing set up. And while he was there, there was a black woman who came in, Michaela Montgomery, a conservative activist. This was a while back. Now watch, here's his visit.
Look at the way you hold. You like each other, right? I think that's very nice. Have a good time. Nice to see you.
Now you see where let's look at the difference of this. Okay, let's just compare and contrast here because I think it's important to look at the humanity of these men. Okay, so now when Joe Biden goes into a Waffle House, okay, Joe Biden walks into the Waffle House and he's walking in and he's interacting with people. Okay, he's shaking hands, right? He's out. There's a number of videos from people in this Waffle House. There's cameras there, but Joe goes around and he's talking to people. He's shaking their hands. There's customers in the restaurant, okay? Now, you look at the Donald Trump one, and this whole restaurant is like closed. They have the employees lined up, and Trump is just standing out here, you know, not really interacting with anyone.
So we'll order 30 milkshakes. We'll give them out to the people, and we'll take some for ourselves, okay? Good. Thank you very much, everybody. Hello.
This has got a great American franchise, ChickfilA.
It is. It's a great franchise. The owner is a great man who's a member of one of my clubs, and he's fantastic.
You see that? The owner of this Chick-fil-A is a member of one of his clubs. All right, so there we go. That's for the starters. He's like, yeah, the owner of this is a buddy of mine, right? And so he set it up. He's got all his black employees lined up behind the counter, and we're coming in here, right? One of his clubs, yeah, is like one of his Trump golf clubs. That's why every black employee that works at this location is lined up on the other side of that counter. Right?
Yeah, they do very well. They're closed on Sunday. The Lord's chicken. That's the Lord's chicken. You're right. It's good chicken, too.
Closed on Sunday. Thank you, Donald. Are you like porn stars on Sunday, Donnie? Or do you not porn stars on Sunday when you're cheating on your wife to observe the Sabbath? I don't know. I don't know what his rules are. He's talking about the Lord's chicken.
Take this viral moment from
Watch
Trump's
this.
visit to an Atlanta ChickfilA this week.
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here,
for a
let
while.
me give you a hug.
Please do.
All right, you see that viral moment? Trump goes to the Chick-fil-A, and the black woman, who's a group that Trump has exactly like zero support from, is like, we love you.
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come
for
here,
a
let
while.
me give you a hug.
Please do.
But she works for the Republican Party. That woman is Michaela Montgomery. She's a conservative activist. She works for the GOP in Georgia. She was a Republican Party staffer. She founded a conservative group. And what's interesting about it is the Republican Party of Atlanta arranged for her to bring a group of black people there to create this illusion of like, oh my God, Donald Trump's at the Chick-fil-A. And like, we support you so much. We love you. Forget what the media says, Donald Trump. But again, it's staged. The love of Trump is staged. It's a ruse.